Good morning. It is Thursday. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. How do you feel today? Time to get another cup of coffee and make it a great day, isn't it? I'm with you on that. Right now, it is cold, y'all. 32. We had a temperature of 31 about 3 a.m. this morning. It's warmed up to 32. Feels like we're above freezing, doesn't it? It's cold. Today's high should reach somewhere between 61 to 62 with a sunny sky. It's going to begin to get warmer over the weekend. That's what's coming. But right now, grab a jacket before you head out. You're going to need it for a couple hours anyway, depending upon how that wind is. Brr. Mark says 31 in downtown Conehatta this morning. Believe you, it's chilly out there. We've got a lot to talk about. We have a great guest coming in this morning beginning at 7. Ben's going to be here. He's with the Livestock Band. He's going to be performing tomorrow night downtown for a free concert. Full Moon on 5th returns. And these are so much fun. And Ben's going to give you a sample this morning of what he does. And I honestly have to say, one of the best that I've ever run into. We look forward to hearing him again this morning on the show. So don't miss that. That starts at 7. He'll be in just a little bit there. And good morning. Janelle is up. Mr. Richard, how are you doing there? Chief is all over today. Joe Collins joining us as well. Let's get a good word for the day. We always have to have a little Jesus to make a day better, don't we? Always like to start with that Don Williams. Lord, I hope this day is good. Let's do that. Let's head out to Collinsville now.
For all of us as parents, we want to set a great example for our children. And we want things like hard work, determination, grit, integrity. We want these to be characteristics that our children embody. But if you're a believer, most of all, you want them to grow to love Christ more than anything or anyone else. For Paul, he wanted the same for the children of faith in the church in Thessalonica. They worked hard day and night to ensure that they were not a burden to them and that they received the gospel message. And just listen to what he says in verse 11 and 12 in Thessalonians chapter 2. As you know, like a father with his own children, we encouraged, comforted, and implored each one of you to walk worthy of God who calls you into his own kingdom and glory. That was the goal of Paul always. For these churches he helped to start and plant, he wanted them to look more like Jesus and walk worthy of God who had called them. For our church and our students at Collinsville First Baptist, that's my hope and prayer as well. We want them to grow, to see Christ, and to live out a faith that's not just a Sunday or a Wednesday faith, but to live it out no matter where they're at. As Paul was kind of living this life of an encourager, as a pastor to them, I just want to ask you, who is God put in your life for you to encourage? Who is God put in your life for you to say, hey, look, man, keep going. Keep going. Keep pursuing Jesus. I'm thankful for people in my life who help me to love Jesus more. People that encourage me to look to Jesus even in tough times. We all need that. But we also, if you're a Christian, we need to be that for other people. So I just wonder, who's God put in your path for you to encourage and for you to point to Jesus? Remember, change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. And as I see, if you've got a birthday, let us know. We'll add those as well during the morning show. You can start getting those in, and we'll get those up and going here after 7 o'clock this morning. How do y'all feel about it? Everybody, let's vote on this. You ready for start the day off with a couple of 3 mean tweets? Let's read a few tweets. What do you think? Our first one comes from the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Here's what it says, and this was put out, I think it was yesterday. It says, we have notified the mayor of Washington, D.C. She must clean up all the unsightly homeless encampments in the city, specifically including the ones outside of the State Department and near the White House. If she is not capable of doing so, we will be forced to do it for her. Donald J. Trump. Good little tweet there. I always read good ones. How about one from Greg Abbott? He's the governor of the great state of Texas. It says a Texas state employee refused to remove pronouns from his email signature. He was fired before noon. It's a mandate. Got to do it. Oh, I've got one more. This is, and I don't know this guy. I have no idea to it, but it caught my tickle box. His handle on Twitter is called Not Kenny Rogers. little different, but it says, if you work for the Department of Education and are posting on Twitter about how angry you are about losing your job, please realize only 27% of school-age children between 4th grade and 12th grade will be able to read it. That was one of those little mic drop moments there, and he walked away from it. Something to think about there. A lot of complaining going on right now. And I caught parts of this yesterday, and at first as I was busy and I didn't pay attention as I was scrolling through social media, and it would have Elizabeth Warren here and then someone else beside her, and it looked as though the same little graphics were popping up. And as I investigated this last night, they were passing out memos. 22 of them had the same wording that they were spreading across social media about the president and his speech, and it all included cuss words. That's just not nice. Odie and I were talking about this just a moment ago. Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or an independent, the speech where the little girl who had the park named after her, that was a moment of unity. But yet we didn't get any claps, and no one applauded that little girl.
DJ was a member of...
Oh, and DJ, the little boy with cancer. That was a unity moment as well. Not one clap did I see. As a matter of fact, you went to MSNBC, they were making fun of the little youngster. I got a laugh yesterday. I forget, it may have been Steve Bannon, one of his reporters, that interviewed the little boy out in front of the White House, and they were asking how it felt to be an agent now, and he was rather funny. And he said, you know, I'm a 13-year-old with a 50-year-old body. He's got cancer. They asked him one last time, did he have any final comments that he wanted to make? And he said, Democrats, if you're making fun of Donald J. Trump, I'm on your bumper. He was cute. And again, that was one of those moments, and we had several of those where the young man was going to be inducted into the U.S. Military Academy, West Point. That was a big deal. There are times, whether you agree with someone or not on all of their political beliefs, it is a time for unity and clap for that person. It didn't happen, but y'all saw that as well as I did. Hunter Biden having to abandon his lawsuit. He's been involved in one, and, well, he has no money left. He was suing someone. People that were giving him money for political, no, I can't say that. Well, I don't know why they were giving him money, but campaign donors that were helping him out along the way have stopped. Funding is over. He claims he can't rent out his California home because of the wildfires anymore. He just doesn't have the money to continue on. He's dropping it. Now, I'm not real sure how quickly this is going to sell. I'm definitely not going to look at the pictures, but it's listed. I saw an ad this morning that said, for sale in Georgia for $1.8 million. You too, Odie, can move to Cleveland, Georgia, and own your own nudist camp.
How much do they pay a month?
I don't know. I don't know what your return would be, Odie. $1.8 million there. It was built in 1995. If you're interested, just go for it. That's all I can tell you there. Today, a 40-day boycott begins against Target. Well, they're mad at Target because they're dropping the DEI program. So it's going to be people that want that boycotting them. I'm not sure if it will hurt them or not, but just so that you're aware of that. CNN had a boo-boo. Have y'all seen this? And it gets aggravating when you're watching something and people fact check. And it used to be during interviews they would fact check somebody. Well, hang on, let us fact check that. Do you remember during the speech the other night where the president made the comment about the rats that were growing the big hair and they were wasting $8 million on it for transgender mice? Do y'all remember that? CNN goes, no, that ain't true. CNN had to make an apology. It was true. $8 million of American taxpayers' money was being spent on transgender mice. That's enough about that, but you should know where your tax dollars are going. $8 million, y'all. Byron Donalds. Now, you may not know his name yet. You're going to hear more and more about this guy. It's a potential that he may run for governor of Florida. as he had several of these mayors that Chicago, these areas that have had large immigration, to where the cities have spent all this money. And he interviewed 3 or 4 of them yesterday, and they couldn't tell him how much money the city had spent on illegal people and not spending the money on citizens of their cities. They couldn't tell him. Denver, one of those areas there. If you are in charge of a budget for a city, you should know exactly where that is going. Especially if they're not American citizens. You think of the citizens that pay taxes. These people didn't. They couldn't tell him anything. Han Wu was one of those. A U.S. embassy in Somalia, a threat. They're taking it to be a credible one there. Let's hope nothing happens there, but they're investigating that. They're on high alert. 4-year-old little boy has passed away in New York City. Possible fentanyl exposure. Boy, that stuff gets me in a bad mood quick. Drugs and children don't go together. Here's a big thing here. LeBron James. Y'all know him from basketball. He's, this is big. He's the first to score 50,000 combined sports points in playing ball. That's a lot of points. Congratulations to him. I don't know a lot about him, but apparently he's really, really good at what he does. Congratulations there. Wisconsin, and this is because we've had them here at our prisons. A lot of time prisoners will pass away. A troubled Wisconsin maximum security prison has had their 6th inmate die in the last few months. I think the warden had already resigned over other charges. Let's hope they get to the bottom of that. Just because you're incarcerated shouldn't mean that you're mistreated. Fair is fair. You're paying your debt back to society. Uh-oh. I know Odie had already got season tickets for this. He was ready to go to Washington to watch. Now, I don't think you could give me a ticket to it. Hamilton. Do y'all know the play I'm talking about? And I really, somewhere down the road, I missed a gap. I didn't quite get this, if you're elected or how it happened, but somehow or another, Donald J. Trump is the head of the Kennedy Center.
I don't know.
I don't know how he got that, but anyway, they're not happy about it, so they're canceling Hamilton because he's in charge now.
I wonder if that made anybody mad.
I'm not mad. It was going to run in 2026. I've seen bits and pieces of that in clips of news. It doesn't interest me, but it may be perfect for you. But it just didn't seem like the play for me. I'm not real big on musicals, though. I'm not going to lie. That's not my thing. Grease was probably, and after those Elvis movies, I kind of gave up on. It was really the Sound of Music that burnt my taste for any type of musical. And I know there's somebody going, Scotty Ray, I love that. You weren't a 7-year-old in Mississippi with only one channel, and that's all you had to watch. It was horrible. It was horrible. The sound of the hills are alive. Oh, boy, I remember it. As we go back, a judge is finally done. And this is torment for a mother. They've been missing since 2010. 3 little boys went missing. The mothers finally got a judge to say that they're deceased. Number 1 suspect, this will shock you. It was the father. No one has ever been found, no trace whatsoever. They suspect the father, but no bodies have been found. And a judge has named them deceased at this point. Oh, I don't even want to go there in my mind, do y'all? Boston, Massachusetts, that's where they had that tea party some years ago. Someone had a Tulsa party, and they torched a charging station there. Why? I don't know. That's just mean. That's a lot of money wasted on arson. Arson's not good, is it? This is sad news. And NBC reporting Representative Sylvester Turner. He's a Texas Democrat. He attended the speech the other night. The president, 2 hours later, he passed away. 70 years old. It was his first term. We send condolences. He's from Houston. We send condolences to his family. What a shame that is. Did not see that coming. I watched a few years ago as this debuted. Anybody watch a little bit of those Marvel films, the stuff? And it's neat. Daredevil. Anybody ever heard of that?
Yeah.
It's about an attorney who at night fights crime. But there's a different twist to it. When he was a youngster, he went blind. And once he became blind, he had extra powers. During the daytime, he's an attorney that walks around with his cane and a dog, and at night, he jumps, leaps, and goes over tall. It's interesting. It really is. It wasn't a bad show. They've got the same guy that's going to be the character in it, and they're reviving that. Maybe you'll be interested in it, too. Now, this is as bad as the banana story I told you about that day. Remember the guy that bought the banana that was duct taped to the wall?
Yeah.
Was it $6 million he paid for that?
Yeah, something like that.
Here's somebody else that has more money than they know what to do with. $88,000 was blown on a Cheeto. No, I'm not joking you. It was a Cheeto that looked like a Pokemon. And they have bid at an auction $88,000 for this. Really, you do have extra cash if you can afford to buy a Cheeto for $88,000.
If you get hungry, you're going to eat.
Boy, write this down, Odie. We're going to need to make a big deal out of this. Miss Ann Collier is 105 years old today. Salute. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
It was Meridian's ex-fire chief's grandmother. Well, congratulations on that. That is big. We'll make sure to add her to our list here in just a moment as we get the morning show started. Rump row. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. You know who I'm talking about? His chief of staff, as the speech was wrapping up, and I guess everybody had a little party there somewhere, had some cake and maybe a glass or two of wine, or maybe 4 or 5. His chief of staff was leaving the parking lot and bumped into another car. Capitol Police showed up on the scene. He's been arrested for a DUI. Bumped it. Now, it was not big time, but he did bump it. He was drinking behind the wheel. He's been arrested. Mike Johnson said he's standing beside him. He's been with his staff for quite a long time, and he does a great job. He's messed up for sure. That's in the news. You're going to see that everywhere today. That will be carried high. Do not think it will not. You needed to hear it first as it comes out. A U.S. flight to Mexico had to divert to Texas after a security concern. They are not telling us what that security concern was. It landed safely, but we do not know why. Sometimes it is a national security why they don't tell us these things, but at this point, they probably will say something later about that. Marcone, you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Europe. He says Europe must be ready to defend Ukraine without the U.S. assistance. He's that little French president.
Oh, yeah.
Marcone.
Little mustard. Yeah.
He's been picked on a few times, but I don't think they could do it, is the thing. It's a nice thought, but I don't think y'all have the power to do that. Go right ahead. We'll watch. That's not even more.
You're gonna get NATO involved if you do that.
NATO would get him. It's a lot of consequences. What happens when you steal something and you just really don't want to get caught with it? You swallow it, maybe. Now I've seen criminals do this when they're trying to hide drugs. Obviously, but what about when you steal a piece of jewelry worth $770,000? He swallowed it. He was in a jewelry store. Well, they rushed him right on over to the hospital, and X-rays did show it. He's being charged, and I hear that stomach pumping thing is not fun, is it? Ooh. Not a good day to be a criminal. He's going to be spending some time behind bars. We'll be right back. We're going to do your weather forecast next this morning to get your day underway.
For something as vital as your eyes, you should have your lenses and contacts made with the utmost care and precision. And that's what Grayson Optical does on 24th Avenue. Since 1996, Grayson Optical's mission has been to provide Meridian and surrounding areas with quality eye care products. That's why we're locally owned and operated. And don't forget, custom-made sunglasses like Costa for your eyes only. When you need to see clearly, Grayson Optical, 2021 24th Avenue, Meridian, 601-693-6374.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our record highs and record lows. Anybody remember 1974? It was 86 today, a warm day. Back in 15, it was a cold day. That's 10 years ago, Odie.
Yeah.
It was 21 degrees 10 years ago. 2015 does not seem that long ago, but it is. As we look at today's forecast, 60 to 61 is the best we'll get there. 57 near Columbus, down the Mississippi River. We'll even get back up to 62 there. Maybe warmer past Hattiesburg toward the coast. As we go over to Burmaland, we see that it's 56 all across most of Alabama, almost ditto to what we have going on in Mississippi. Upper 50s to about 62 in most places there. As we look at this Saturday night south of us, and again, all of this could change in between now and then, a level 1 severe weather alert for everything in the Pine Belt south to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And that does include Natchez, Brookhaven, and those areas. But the Pine Belt area will be seeing some serious weather there. A level 1 at this point, Saturday afternoon and evening. Should this get closer to us, we'll let you know here in East Mississippi. As we look at this warmer weather on the way, and it shows up on our 7-day forecast here, 61 today. Tonight, 40, a little bit warmer than it was tonight. And we're back to 73 tomorrow. It will be great for a Friday. Short sleeve weather returns, and Saturday, except don't wash your car on Saturday. 50% chance of thunderstorms. Every chance you get to make it look better, it's going to rain, isn't it? Yeah. That's what happens. Maybe you live on a dirt road and can never keep it clean. Looks like we'll have 57 cooler weather for Sunday morning services, and then back to 70-degree weather again on Monday. That little cold front rain thing is going to bring in that cooler weather Sunday. And then back to work on Monday with 70, 76, 77. We're getting mighty close to 80. Let's go another week into this, and we do hit it right there on Friday the 14th. We're sitting at 80. Wow, it's going to be nice there. And we'll keep that 70-degree, upper 70-degree weather all the way through the 20th of March. It'll be April before, Easter's coming.
It's coming.
It is. Let's talk about fishing real quick. Oh, boy, today, here we go. Wind's going to be 5 to 10, light northwest this afternoon. Major times today to fish will be 5 o'clock this afternoon. Believe it or not, you can actually see the fish at 5 o'clock now. It'll be good through about 7 o'clock. A minor time today will be around 10 a.m. if you need to go. Sunrise happened this morning at 6:15. Now, our sunset, as it always keeps getting better and better for us, and don't forget, this weekend, the 9th, we are going to have daylight savings time. That hour is going to bump on over. It's a shame that won't happen for Friday night when we're downtown for the big concert.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah, but the following weekend it will be. But daylight savings time is happening this weekend. If you have to adjust your clock, make sure to go spring forward. Everybody, I think most people. I don't wear one. Only Odie with the one the size of Texas on his arm is the only person I know that still wears a Timex. Have y'all really looked at that watch? He's going to be coming on in a minute. Odie, come here. Stick your arm in front of this camera. Show everybody your watch.
That's my Mr. T starter kit.
That is like, you're wearing like a, man, that's huge. Is it because you can't see and the letters are bigger, or you just like to stick out in the crowd?
Well, I didn't know it was that big when I bought the darn thing.
Yeah.
But since I bought it, I'm going to use it.
I'll refrain from cracking a joke on that and move forward.
Oh.
We'll be right back. Thank y'all for joining us. We do appreciate that. We got so much lined up for us. And again, some great music coming up here in just a moment. Y'all don't rush off. Oh, it's going to be great. We'll be right back. Ben's preparing. He's getting the guitar out. We're going to make him sing something country. No rap this morning. I don't want to break anybody's heart. It ain't happening. We got that coming up in just a moment. Welcome to the Scotty Ray Report, going back live in just a few moments.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.